Hello, this is a tutorial video on how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. And first off, we have to create a folder in Lab Projects which will contain all files related to the project we're working on. So double click on Lab Projects and right click on anywhere on the screen, which will then bring down a drop down menu. Then click on Select New Folder. We will rename this folder Adobe Premiere Pro and click Enter. So during the course of this tutorial, this is where we manage and store all our files. So now click on Command Space on your keyboard to bring up the search bar and then type Adobe Premiere. It shows in the drop down menu, then double click it. It takes about 10 to 15 seconds to load. So before we start editing, we have to create a new project. So click on New Project. This window pops up and then we rename our file Adobe Premiere Pro. And then in the location section, we ensure that we save it in the folder we've created in the beginning. So click Browse, Lab Projects, and Adobe Premiere Pro, and then click on OK. So here we have our layout of Adobe Premiere, and over here we have many different panels available. But before we get into it, let's import some video clips which will make it easier to see what we're working with in Adobe. So we'll go up to File, Import Lab Projects and Video Clips. Select all the clips and click Import. So here we have our clips showing up in the left corner of the screen. You could hover the mouse over the videos just to give you a small preview of the video. So we're going to drag one video clip into our timeline here and drop it. Now we can see that we have two different bars. One on top represents the video and the lower one represents the audio of the clip. In our timeline here, we can hold and drag the end of the bar to create more workspace. And this is the same for the vertical bar as well. Now let's take a look at some various workspaces above. Assembly is used to import media easily. Editing is the default preview in Adobe. Color is used to edit the filters of the video. Effect is to regulate and add effects to your project. Audio is to edit your waveforms carefully. And titles to add words in the video. I'm going to keep my window in effects here. Okay, so now let's double click on the second video we want to add to our timeline. It shows up on the left video panel, and over here we can decide which part of the video we want to add to the timeline. So we can put the marker wherever we want to start the video and then click on the Mark In button. Then you can put the marker wherever you want the video to stop, then click the Mark Out button. Once you're done, click and hold on the video and drag it onto the timeline next to the first video clip. We can do that for the other clips, but let's just say we're comfortable with all of them and we'll drag them onto the timeline. Another way to cut out the video is to hover the selection tool at the ends of the video bars and drag left or right to cut it short. You can also use the blade selection tools to mark out the parts you want to cut. Then click back on the selection tool. Select the part you want to cut and click delete. Okay, so now we are going to learn how to add video transitions to our clips. These transitions will make the sequence of our videos very smooth. So we're going to go up to video transitions up here. Then various options show down here. We're going to use dissolve. Then we'll click on cross dissolve. Then we're going to hold on it and drag it into the borders of the clips. So let's see how this works. You could see that it changes from one clip to the next very smoothly. Now let's just add other video transitions to these borders. and let's see how it plays. You can see that the sequence changes very nicely. Okay, so now we're going to import some audio from the web. Our video clips already have audio, but we want to import some other audios to make our podcast more interesting. So we're going to go down to Google Chrome and type in youtube.com/audio library. In this place, there are various music we can download for our podcast, and it's very free of copyright. So it's very convenient to come download any sort of music you want that will fit into your podcast. So I'm just going to download 2 tracks. Let's go with Without a Sound and Third Eye Blimp here. Then we're going to import these files into our Adobe project. So we go up to File, Import, Downloads, and then click on Third Eye Blimp up there, Without a Sound, and click Import. So now let's move over our imported audio files to the timeline. Click on Third Eye Blimp over here and drag it over to the timeline. You can see it's too long, so I want to cut it short a little bit. So I'll click on the blade, mark it out, click on the selection tool, and then click on the rest that I want to delete, and click the delete button on the keyboard. Now we'll go to Without a Sound, and then put it at the end of the first audio. It is also too long, so I'm going to cut it out at the end, right at the end of the video. Click on the selection tool and then highlight the part I want deleted, and then click on the delete button on the... And now let's open it up a little bit for some more workspace. So let's see how that works with our video clips. So we could hear the audio playing while the video clip was playing. And now I think my audio is too loud for my video clip. So we can see down here in the audio bars, there's this white thin line. That is what is used to regulate the volumes of the audio. So we can send it down a little bit to -12. And I'll also click on the second one and send it down a little bit to -12, just to lower the volume a little bit. And let's play and see how that sounds. I think the volume sounds okay for this video, so let's continue. Now we're going to learn how to put in some audio transitions into our audio. So we'll go up here to Audio Transitions, click on Crossfade, and then 3 different options come up: Constant Gain, Constant Power, Exponential Fade. We're going to start with Constant Power here. We'll click on it and drag it to the beginning of the audio. And now let's see how that sounds when we press play. You can see that it slowly starts when the audio plays. Now let's click on the audio transition right there. And we can see 2 bars appear up top. The one below stands for the audio and the one up there is for the transition. We can stretch it out a little bit just to elongate the transition. Now let's see how that sounds. You can see that the transition is much longer than in the beginning. Now let's put some other transitions in the middle. So we'll go up to Constant Gain, click on it and drag it into the middle here. You can click on it again and stretch it out a little bit. Let's see how it sounds. You can see it changes smoothly from one track to the other. Now for fading out a song, the exponential fade is much more favorable. So we're going to click and drag exponential fade to the end of the clip. Click on it and drag it to the left because it's at the end. So we want the end to kind of stretch a little bit. Now let's see how that sounds. So basically this is how we use audio transitions. So now we're done with our audio and want to add some words to our video clips while they play. So move up to title, new title, and three options are here. Default crawl, it moves left and right across the screen. Default row is usually what we see in movies at the end when it rolls up. And for the default still, the words just stay still on the screen. So that is what we're going to use for this video. So click on default still. And then we're going to rename our title to India because that is what it shows on the clip. And click on OK. And then this window shows up. So we have the selection tool right there. We're going to click on anywhere across the screen. And then type in India. We can see our text is not so clear, so we're going to do some editing. First off, we can go up to font family here if you want to change the font. But I'm pretty comfortable with this font, so we're going to leave it there. Then we can change the font style to a bolder text. Then font size, we're going to click on it and drag it to the right to increase the size. So yes, the size is okay. So this size is okay. And I'm gonna change the color. So this shows up and you can change the color. You can drag across this line over here to change the shades of the color. I'm gonna go for a blue color. So put it right here. And then we can drag across the shades just to choose the kind of mixed color we want. So I'm going to leave it over there and click on OK. So we can see our India text is very deep blue. And then we can click and highlight on all the text. Click on the selection tool. And then we'll drag it to wherever we want it. I want it at the left corner. So I'm going to drag it to the left corner here. And then we're gonna edit the shadows in the background. So we'll take the shadow box, edit the opacity to 100%, and then change the spread to 4. You can see our text is a little bit darker now. So when we're done, we can just close this window, and then it shows up at the left side of where we import our files. And then we can drag it right on top of the video clip and leave it right there. Now let's see how that works. Yeah, so our text is right in the video clip, and we can also add video transitions to it. So we'll go to video transition, click on cross dissolve, and then we'll put it right in the beginning of the text. Then click on it and stretch it out a little bit. Now let's see how that works. You can see the text slowly comes in when the video starts, and that's how it works. So basically that is how you put text throughout the video. So we're done with our editing and we want to export our file. So we'll go up to File, Export, and then Media. And then we'll change the formats to H.264. Keep it at that. And then we'll rename our file down here. I'll rename it Adobe Premiere Pro, just as usual. And then go down here to Lab Project and save it in the folder we created in the very beginning. So we can see the folder right down here. Click on Adobe Premiere Pro and click Save. Then we'll click on Export. And that is how you do it. So these are the various ways you can edit in Adobe Premiere Pro, and it's very simple. Thank you.